How did people wake up before alarm clocks? During the Industrial Revolution, when watches weren't a common thing among the working class, they'd rely on a human alarm clock, a knocker-upper as they called it. It was someone with a good, meaning accurate watch, who was paid a small sum by various individuals of a working class area to wake them up at a particular time. However, you can't create chaos that wakes up everybody at once. So they'd go around with a fine cane, nearly 15 feet long, reach up to the upper floors of buildings and tap on their customers' window panes till they woke up. That sounds really made up, but it wasn't. It was an actual profession then. Investing into a precise timepiece was like investing into a good taxi cab, and then embarking on this career, hoping to pay that timepiece off and eventually start turning a profit. Some of them claimed they needed a bit of something at the end of their cane to get the right amount of noise that would wake up the people in the room without waking up their neighbors. There were different ways of doing it. One worth mentioning would be the pea shooter, Mary Ann Smith, where she'd blow dried peas at a window through a hollow pipe. Interestingly, it was also spreading culturally. Being precise about the time was considered to be the modern, forward way of thinking. A good example of this is the Jack the Ripper case. It was found in the police report, and this was at the end of the 19th century. Mentions of times such as 9:16 and statements like 16 minutes later so and so happened, 14 minutes later that happened, which is ridiculously accurate for a watch from that era. It didn't have round numbers, rather precise numbers, as that was what was thought to lend authority to the statements. The idea that you could be that precise was culturally enticing, but not actually practically possible. It was a society where you would almost lie rather than be caught not knowing the time. Another group of people who did this work were police constables. When the first victim was found from the Jack the Ripper case, when people went to the police, he was busy working with his knocker-upper job. He didn't come to see the body immediately as he had clients. Time was money. The thought behind picking knocker-upper specifically for this assignment came from a conversation with a friend. We were talking about sleep and our natural sleep cycle, and she said we shouldn't actually use alarms to wake up. It should happen naturally, as alarms disrupt the sleep to wake us up. I said that made a lot of sense. We do have something called a natural body clock. But going to sleep without setting an alarm sounds ridiculous. There's no way I'd not sleep in. It made me really think about what would life be without something as simple as an alarm clock. Something we so heavily depend on, not just for waking up in the morning, but throughout the day too. Sometimes I have to set alarms to remind myself to drink water. The people who did these simple but essential jobs, not just in history but even today, are the ones carrying us as a society forward. Technology may replace a lot of these jobs, but the unsung heroes who did them then and right now deserve all our respect and deserve to be sung off highly.
Pugger. This job involved mixing mud, clay, and water with their feet. In the 18th century, these jobs were done by slaves. Kids would then carry the brick mix to women who would put them into molds. Around 40,000 of these bricks were required to build an average house. Pani Puri dough mixer. In the 21st century, workers would mix the dough with their feet, which they claim were washed with soap before they stepped on it. They would work for small vendors who would usually be underpaid. The dough would be baked and then mixed with mint water and then sold to customers who would have no idea that feet would be involved in the process of making out the dough. Toad eaters. These people would eat toads in front of an audience who enjoyed watching the expression while toads were being swallowed to earn extra money apart from the usual jobs. Just like how these days a few TikTok artists put menthol in their eyes and make their eyes red and apply a lot of powder on their face and so many other creatively disgusting things to earn views and in order to earn extra money.